maybe we're back here. YouTube put us on Stream Now. Actually, Livestream Studio put us on Stream Now. So we briefly did a live broadcast. I don't know why.
There. Okay, we're up.
Now we're here. Hi again. Okay, so that's coming out of that. That's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so stop that. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah. Hi. Okay, so we got this. As I've been trying to say, this is like the fourth or fifth time I've been trying to say this. We keep broadcasting to the wrong place. We finally got some things changed, and it should be a lot nicer. It should sound nicer. The audio should be better now that we're actually broadcasting to the right place. And thank you all for being patient. We've had a lot of issues getting an actual system set up here in this place that we want to use that works. And
But I think we're doing better. So how does the sound, guys?
yes, the audio should
I should
sound
no
better.
longer sound like I'm in a tin can. You should no longer get pickup of John's mic in mine.
Not as much, anyway.
Does it sound nice? Tell us.
Yes, let us know. Now that we're actually broadcasting to the right place again. So, a few things we wanted to update you on. Earlier today on this channel, done much better than what we're doing now. Oz produced a nice interview where Amber King and Rhonda Walker talked to Shahid Buttar. I'm wearing my Shahid Buttar shirt. We volunteer for the campaign. Shahid's an awesome guy, and if you haven't, you should donate and help him. He's got all 50 states pitched in on this. He's got a huge volunteer crew. He's got a huge stack of cash, thanks to us. And I'm not even going to tell you how much it is because I can't. They'll file the next FEC things, but it's huge. We've been doing good for Shahid, but he still doesn't even have what he needs to defeat Nancy Pelosi. But imagine getting rid of Nancy Pelosi. How amazing it would be to not see her doing pretty much theatrics and not actually accomplishing anything in office. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
That would be nice.
So nice. Are we live? Does everybody
Yes.
say we're actually talking?
Yes.
And it's working this time? Yay. I'll have to
Yes.
go delete that.
I'm asking for proof. I'm asking if people can see Milo walking around behind me in my shot,
No, it's good.
looking
Good.
for treats.
So, nice interview with Shahid. That was really cool. Well done, Oz and Rhonda and Amber. And I appreciate all that you guys are doing there for continuing on independent media.
Yeah, it was really well done. We
Yeah,
haven't had.
nice.
God, we've been so busy, and this is our non-canvassing weekend. So we're actually here on a Sunday. Next Sunday we'll be back being, what do we? Record keepers.
We
Data
are
captains.
Backup data captains.
Backup data captains.
They
John
need
is
backups.
actually the official backup data captain.
I have not taken all my training, and I have been the disappointment of the San Mateo for Bernie
You got another week.
data peoples.
You got a week.
I know. Well, we'll get it done, but there's a lot going on there, and this is all mostly over for us March 3rd,
Right.
right? I mean,
Right.
March 3rd is when California decides Bernie, and I'm pretty sure he's
I'm
going to
still,
do fine.
after my whole adult life voting California primary in June, I am so grateful that we don't have to wait until June for the California primary.
Yeah, I agree.
It's all going to be over, done, and quick. And
agree.
man, the boots are on the ground in California and in New Hampshire and in Nevada and in South Carolina. And I think the only trick left up the DNC's sleeve is to have Michael Bloomberg plonk into the middle of the race with a shitload of money. And we'll see how much his money resonates, especially with younger voters and college students, etc. It'll be very interesting. And my prediction is that it's going to end up being Bernie and Bloomberg as the kind of the final two,
Yeah.
which will be just weird.
Yes, that would be.
And I like those odds for Bernie if that's who he's up against at the end. It's a perfect narrative, Bernie against the billionaires, and here's a billionaire, so have at him. And
Yeah, well, we got to get through the rest of the primaries, and I think it was a tactical measure by the DNC to have Nate Silver say that Bernie could win or would
Oh,
win,
yeah.
but because that just means they're thwarting his efforts.
Yeah.
With having Nate say that.
because Nate's always wrong.
He's always wrong.
Right. Okay.
He's always wrong. Either that or Pat's having an undue effect.
Well, who will we have Pat reform next? I don't know, but if Nate Silver has turned a corner because of Nate's liver, I commend you. And Pat, if you're watching this, your Twitter stream on debate night was solid gold. And it is my favorite thing to watch. And I was just dying, half the time. Your tweets just, and it was, I love Twitter for exactly that type of event. It was
cool.
perfect.
Yeah, you were amazing. And Chris Matthews next, please.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
Chris Matthews.
Yeah.
Has to be a hard one. Softballs or whatever you want to call them. Here's a screenshot from that. Oz, love your graphics. I'd like to talk to you about, I don't know, it's an interesting kind of offset thing going on there, but it's a great shot. You got everybody in there, good pictures, good lighting. Thank you for doing that. So everybody go watch that. It's on Uphill Media.
Except isn't Rhonda's name missing a D? Or has she changed her name?
Whatever. We did that bad too. Hey Oz, we just got a typo. Just got a typo. Here's Morgan Cross working on our audio.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Morgan. This is Parliamentary Talk.
It happened.
It happened at CCTV Salem. This is what it looked like broadcast, and you can see that on our YouTube channel. That's Larry looking at Carrie with a call-in number that we actually had. You can call that number. We'd love for the next show, which is on the 6th of March, or actually the first. No, it'd be the 5th. It's the first Thursday in March will be the live show, and you guys could call in and ask Larry and Carrie a question if you're around at noon on the 5th of March, Pacific. So that's a screenshot from there. Here's another screenshot. An amazing 4K virtual studio. This is what it looked like when you're not seeing the graphics put on there, right? It's just a big green screen area. This is a multi-million-dollar professional broadcast studio. They've not done a lot of live broadcasting out of CCTV Salem, but they were going to do more now. And this is our first show, and it was amazing. And I really want to thank everybody that helped make this possible, which includes a whole bunch of people. Most importantly, probably Ashley Terry, who did so much with the board. I get that. Where's that one shot? You got a shot out in here? I don't have a picture of Ashley at the board. I mean, it's just a crazy thing with, compared to what I have to deal with here, it's a monster. Many, many buttons. He basically learned the entire board in 2 visits, in a couple hours. And so he's the one pushing shots and dealing with all of that stuff in the live show. I was really kind of acting more like an executive producer. It was kind of cool. I sat back, I fiddled with some things, I made sure everybody was okay. I took care of the monitoring the calls, and it was amazing because they have a crew there, really smart people that know how to run all of this multi-million-dollar equipment. That's what it's like to have an actual broadcast studio. It's like going to adult Disneyland.
It was a culmination of a long journey, I would say, and well-deserved. And
it was amazing.
And isn't it? Hasn't he worked very hard for this? This month marks 4 years since I started watching you on Bernie 2016 TV.
Yeah.
When I was looking for rallies I think it was right after Iowa when I heard about all this. I go, well, if Bernie did that well, I should pay attention to what he's doing, and that's how I found you.
Thanks. And now we're $150 a year is what it costs for a Salem resident connected with a nonprofit. Thank you, Carrie, to broadcast to create television out of that series, out of that place. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just amazing, and they've got such a great crew, and they're looking forward to doing more, and so are we. And so we'll see what else we can do there. We can interview Bernie there.
Yeah,
nice.
There
After
you go.
he wins, right? Moving on. So where's my list here? Moving on. Primary talk covering the primaries. Yes, we are covering the primaries because why not?
Yeah.
Why not? So.
And we covered the Iowa returns such as they were.
We still don't have full results. We just know Bernie won, but Pete thinks he won, and centrists are confused, and MSM really wants somebody besides Bernie to win.
We know the truth.
Yes.
We know the truth.
Yes, we do.
So onward to New Hampshire, and either the DNC has tipped their whole hand and shown their whole ass way too early as to how seriously they are trying to rig things, or they have more up their sleeve. But boy, are they going to be? Everything is going to be watched closely. But it's like, even if things are being watched closely, it's like the guy who did the flip the coin and then flipped it over before he showed it to somebody.
That's bad.
That was ridiculous. So yeah, this was definitely they don't have the funds or the money to do this with any kind of finesse this time. And I remember when they were talking about remember that voting app? It was, like Place to Vote or something like that.
Place to Vote.
Was that it? And talking about the regulation that would have had and the hoops that they would have had to have jumped to be a voting application.
Mm-hmm.
And remembering and seeing how this shadow app was just dived in at the last moment, says, here, we're all using this. You can't, no questions. How can that possibly be in any way okay? And the answer is, of course, that it's not. But it's like, how could that even...
When you control the party, right? They don't care, us. Right?
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about? You're talking about acronym and what great song, Schultze?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just wrecked the company truck. Did you really wreck the company truck? And that's a good sign. Now you're going to Disneyland. Okay, just curious. And yes, Dennis, I lost the Euro glasses.
Were your glasses that you wore
More Euro? Those weren't from. I had lost those the readers from Europe a long time ago. I don't know where the hell those are.
Yeah. No, these
They
are
bought me a
just his regular glasses, so he can see glasses.
I was just trying to see what they were talking about.
Yeah. Acronym is the parent company
Acronym
of
is the parent
Shadow.
company. But you're right. That's a good comparison, though. I mean, we know that Place to Vote was nowhere close and that they would have had to gone through so much bullshit.
Yeah.
And now this company comes in and is like, oh, well, we wrote this a month ago.
Yeah.
And, but that's what happens when you don't have a
Yeah,
democracy.
well, we said it at the time. It's like the establishment does not want our vote to be made easier or more accurate.
Right.
It suits them that there are these gray areas where they can flip the coin over.
Right.
But it's just getting harder and harder for them to hold and to hide it. And I'm just realizing how much we have probably not seen for years and years and years.
Right. And yeah, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
They're going to do every dirty trick they got. So I'm waiting to see what they pull out of New Hampshire. That's going to be the more interesting story, is what bullshit happens.
We've had our first caucus. Now we're going to have our first primary.
What can they pull?
With machines. I believe it's with voting machines. Interestingly enough.
Who's that guy? Rob, Philosopher Rob.
Yeah.
He usually has like what does he call it? Something markets.
Mm-hmm.
Like the betting markets.
Oh,
And he'll list like where
the
people
pools.
stand. We need him to do one on what the DNC is going to pull.
Yeah.
Like, what tactics do we think they're going to bring out?
We could put that in a bingo board.
Yes, I know. You did not. Well, good, Schultze. I'm glad you did not wreck the company truck. But I do remember the song you're talking about. I just did something stupid. Now I'm going to Disneyland. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great song. There's still one precinct missing from the Iowa caucus results. It's in Warren County. Anybody knows what's going on?
Warren County.
Warren County.
How
I
ironic.
don't know. Go figure.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
Warren
it's
County.
and it probably decisively flips everything over to Bernie all at once, and so therefore that's the one that they hope we forget about. Oh, yeah, that one. I don't know. So and so was in charge.
Right. That's all right.
It's
They're not using. They're
so-
using an iPad.
yeah.
They're telling people how to do a little basic math for the next one. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's all you really need is some basic math.
Yeah.
Calculators. They should just hand out, some little cheap calculators. Some tchotchke calculators with DNC on them would have been fine for this. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's it, huh? I think that was it. This is covering this. Let's go back to the top slide. What else? Oh, I had a Cork slide in here somewhere. There it is. Cork needs your help. So moving on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're gonna cover the primaries. Oh, we didn't really talk about New Hampshire. So we'll be covering the New Hampshire primary. This is a picture that I grabbed. That's from New Hampshire. People going on right now, right? And so we will be covering that probably starting 4:35ish, depending on when the
Yeah. We
results
work
come
from
in.
home that day, so we don't have to travel any
Right.
long distance.
So join us, and we'll complain and scream and
We'll
talk
go
about
on
what's going
earlier if there's interesting stuff going down.
Yes.
And if it looks like it's still people are just waiting around, we'll wait till the polls close or whatever. What?
Schultze, I really think you need to rewrite the song. If you write the lyrics, I will sing them and put them to the song for a video. But I just kicked Joe Biden's balls. Now I'm going to Disneyland. That's perfect. I love that. Family stuff. Please keep going. Please. Nevada Democrats hired formerly. Yes. Oh yeah. Hey, good news. Did you see that Greg Palast won his lawsuit against I think it's the governor of Georgia, to release all of the people that were kicked off the voter rolls? That's a 6-year in the making lawsuit, and even Greg was like, "What the fuck?" Because nobody expected the judge to do that.
Greg is awesome.
So,
I'd love to interview him sometime.
yeah, we should. We he's been doing his thing, and we kind of stayed away from it.
Yeah.
Just wanted
Well,
to
we're
focus
back.
on
We're
candidates.
back now in his specialty zone. So yeah, well,
That's right. Also, let's talk about. We may have a chance to interview an Australian MP because we now have a connection. Hi, Kirsty. She's a friend on Facebook now, and she works for an Australian MP who was very. Do you know her name? I don't remember her name.
Catherine King.
Catherine King.
Yeah, she's an MP in Ballarat, which is where my son lived. So this is a friend of my son's visiting the States and doing a tour up and down the coast. So glad she has nice weather. And she works as a very close assistant to Catherine King, who's a Labour MP in Australia, in the southeast near Melbourne. And she is the shadow minister for their healthcare and housing division, and has been a main policy writer for their healthcare system, which is a universal healthcare system, which my son had a very good experience with when he was living there. And so she's definitely on the progressive side of politics in Australia. They just lost a big election in the fall.
They did.
So they're kind of in hiatus, not hiatus, but they're in that still campaigning, but just coming through till their next time up at
The
bat.
Labour Party over there is like the Labour Party in Britain.
Yes,
England,
their
right,
Liberal Party is the Conservatives. So there's Liberals and Labor is the Worker Party. Yeah, Worker.
So I wonder, with the recent devastation, if now the Labour Party is slightly more popular. They were the ones touting environmental policy over the.
Who knows?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out
That
when
would
we
be
interview her, which we'll set up. And I was thinking I'd try to set her interview with her and bring Shahid in or something.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Get points.
That'd be cool.
See what we can do.
Anyway, so
it'd be
Kirsty,
fun.
if you're watching this, hello, nice to meet you, and we hope to see you again in a couple days.
Yeah. This is the state of independent media. Actually, there's a lot of independent media here, but you know that. Yeah. Glad to see you all here. Thank you. Hey, Cynical Girl. Been a while. You were busy juggling of what's left of your life. Well, good.
Oh, God.
Yes. It's good to see that you managed to stay juggling. Right? Glad you're still here. Permaburn. I like that. That's a nice term.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we got? We talked about New Hampshire. We talked about covering the primaries. There's Super Tuesdays on March 3rd. We kind of covered that. That's for the big Super Tuesday is March 3rd. That has California, a bunch of other things, and it should really be pretty much the decider for Bernie. And it's going to be really difficult for the Democratic Party to fuck that many places at once. That's a coordinated effort there. But we'll see. I bet they can pull it off.
Well, but they won't do it well.
Hopefully not.
They don't have the funds. Mike Bloomberg can't fund the whole thing, or maybe that's how they're doing it.
And they did it for $300,000. That's cheap.
Well, no, because they now came out with it that he made a big donation to something equivalent of the Victory for Hillary Fund, but it's like some fund like that, and then a few days later, that was transferred over to the DNC. So there's
Amazing
that.
how that works.
There's that going on. So,
Amazing how that.
but we can see you. We can see you guys doing this. It isn't. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Well, I'm glad to hear that you are not homeless, Cynical, and in these times, that's something to celebrate, right? So, glad to hear that you're doing okay, relatively speaking, and yeah, love you and appreciate you too, all of you. As much as this is, us updating on what we're doing and gathering together, it's also a reminder that we are in a revolution. There is a climate crisis. And as a species, we do need to get together and hug it out and figure it out and work together to save our asses if we're interested. And, that means remembering to care about each other, too. So we still do that. That's still part of what this channel was about.
Yeah.
And even though we've all gone through a shitload of life experiences that may have roughened us around the edges.
Well, we used to call it conversational therapy for the revolution, and I think that's what it still is.
That's what it was.
establishing, this micro network that we may need one day,
So we're here, and if you need us, you can find us on top of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck getting here. But we're here. Probably better off heading from the east. All right, moving on from reality depressing topics, other topics. German and parental invasion is happening on around March 18th. Dennis and Marcus will be here with Erica. My parents will be flying out. Well, the living one and Joan will be flying out to hang with us. Your parents will be up. It's a little bit of a wedding thing because we're getting married, assuming I can get shit together with the IRS time. Otherwise, we're going to fake it, tell my parents we are getting married because I don't want to spoil that.
We'll figure it out. It's like, that's just the obvious next step in both our minds. So we're, in 2020, what a great year to get married in. We're both still in our 50s for a brief period of time.
Yes.
And you know what? We got 10 years left and we want to spend it together, and we want to spend it with you, and we want to make shows, and we want to do music, and do our best to support any candidates who can help us, prolong our beautiful world.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for the kind words, Schultze. And yes, we will not forget you, Cynical. Any of you. It's been a family for a number of years. People pop in and out of the family, but they're starting to show up again because, it's election year. So,
How many of you here have been watching since 2016?
Of the people that are in here.
Yeah, there's a few.
There's a few.
I mean, these are names I recognized for a long time.
Yeah. So yeah, Dennis and Marcus, Erica coming out.
Bit of a party, bit of a do.
Yeah. So and honestly, if you guys are around and you want to make it down here, make a trip, feel free. I'd prefer that you spend your effort focused on Bernie.
Yeah.
But if you're around the area, come on by. It's just going to be a gathering. You just egged Amy's campaign bus down going to Disneyland.
Schultze's he's got verses of a song going here. Just,
Please don't. I can't extract the verses from the chat. You're going to have to put these down somewhere else. But I love that we're inspiring the work. So please keep on. And I promise you give me a set of lyrics and I will do the work required to put it to a Bernie video. That's all I need. That will be my inspiration. So let's feed off each other's inspiration, which is kind of what we do anyway.
Yeah.
Cheerlead for each other.
Yeah.
Speaking of more Bernie stuff, delegates for Bernie. Get on that shit. Okay? So it comes down to delegates. It comes down to what's going on at your state level parties, which is why Larry Taylor has been so focused on the Oregon party. And Larry's going to run for some power in a while, and I'm not going to say anything more about that. But let's just say that the Democratic Party of Oregon has been infiltrated by a group of progressives, and other members have been educated on their power, and that's all because of the work of Larry Taylor and others. But there's nobody out there giving credit where credit's due, and there's nobody lifting that up, and there's very few people other than you guys helping to support that effort. And so we're doing it on our own here, and taking over the party with, limited funding is hard work. If you're a billionaire, you can come in, buy everybody out, you're done. Look at what Bloomberg did, right?
But what do you buy? Do you really buy votes, or do you buy a bunch of stuff that you think is going to influence votes? And I don't think his brand of influence is going to be as effective.
Right. No, but he can certainly buy Tom Perez. He can buy the DNC to make choices, which is what we're looking at here. So the existing DPO structure has people in it like Casey Hansen that have already been bought and paid for. We don't know when that happened, but she's doing the work of corporate Democrats, and she refuses to change. And, it's like who came in and turned her, right? Who came in and turned her and made her that way? And we got to replace people like her who are truly doing the work of corporate Democrats and believe that they're doing the right thing because of it. I don't understand how that is. And Larry's been working on those changes, just getting the State Central Committee of Oregon to understand that their power is greater than the chair. The chair is appointed. The chair is a facilitator. The chair doesn't have shit for power unless it's given to the chair by the committee. And just getting that goddamn education across to a bunch of people who supposedly know what the fuck they're doing in Oregon government was hard. No offense to everybody in Oregon government, but seriously, the State Central Committee is the power, and the State Central Committee has been asleep at the wheel for decades. You know, and that's so when we talk about, back to the point, when we talk about Bernie Sanders and being able to win, it comes down to the delegates. Those delegates come down to who you have in power in your state central committees. All right? Who you have in power in your local county governments. Because it's the PCPs and the local counties that get to choose who becomes a delegate for Bernie. In the end, right? So learning that the lower levels of government where all the power lies, that's the lesson that Bernie had to teach us. And he's been very patient with all of us. Working on those lower levels is where everybody needs to go. Focusing on Nancy Pelosi and the national scene is not as important as what's going on in your county, what's going on at your local level, who needs to be replaced. And it's not that hard. We got a county in Oregon right now that just needs somebody to raise their hand and say, I will be a delegate for Bernie Sanders from this county. And they will be a delegate for Bernie Sanders from the county because there's nobody representing the Democratic Party in that county. This, boom, done. And they're a delegate, meaning they're a delegate to the 2020 National Convention. That kind of delegate. There's 2 empty seats to fill for Bernie in Oregon in a county, and we just need 2 people to stand up. That's the kind of shit we're talking about. Where is this problem? Rural Oregon. Where is the problem with all this? Rural America, right? Because rural America has been completely disconnected, disenfranchised, and fed Fox News for decades. They do not live in the same world urban America lives in, right? So we need to find, this is the kind of shit, I guarantee you this stuff is happening everywhere. That you've got rural counties without representation where they just have to go, me, and they're a delegate for Bernie Sanders. And if we don't have 51% of the delegates, we have a contested convention, which means we have to understand parliamentary procedure and Robert's rules. And if we do have 51% of the votes, we can change shit in the DNC. We can vote to make massive fucking changes at the DNC because the meeting in 2020 is just a national convention. It's the
that's
meeting.
where the rules get. That's where the platform gets decided. That's where the rules get changed. And if there's going to be a change, if there is going to be any change to the way the convention goes, that's it. People talk about they're going to change the superdelegate stuff. No, anything along those lines has to be changed at the convention level. If we come in delegate heavy and we become the people who can, the campaign that controls, in theory, the narrative at the convention and holds a lot of power.
That's a whole new DNC coming out of the convention.
And that's no second delegate shenanigans. It's that none of that can even happen if we go in high like that. So I think that's still right now the focus. And I think we've seen is that, and I said this last time, we just need to win so big. We need to bring out numbers so huge that even if they find ways to shave little bits off, we still come out ahead. Right? That's really the only strategy that we can do.
Right. We have to overwin.
Yeah.
We have to overcompensate for what we're fighting, right? And
he's the most underdog front runner I think we'll ever see in our lifetimes ever.
And he's I mean, you don't get more of a people's champion, and the problem is the media will never portray him as such. Yeah.
Well, I think he was the front runner underdog last time, if truth be told.
Right, but last time he was like, oh. Yeah. That was like
he certainly wasn't where he is now.
No. Today he represents a real threat. We represent a real threat this time. Last time they were like, oh. Yeah. This time we're knocking on the door and we're pissed, and that's, I think they see. Well, obviously they see. And
the people were talking about comparing them, remembering that Iowa last time was really only 2 people. It was Bernie and Hillary, and that other guy, I keep forgetting his name, McMillan or the. What? There was a third guy that was running against Hillary and Bernie for the first few primaries, and he dropped out, and then it was just 2. So
don't remember. You're right, but I don't remember.
He just emerged lately as dissing Bernie. I thought that was really rude. Oh. And so it was a completely different focus last time. They could focus a whole lot of energy on promoting one candidate, and here you've got a whole lot of different factions, some doing it better than others. But the energy seems to be. I guess it's Amy Klobuchar's turn in the rotation right now. She seems to be getting a temporary bump.
Oh, is she the one?
Yeah, for chewing out Mayor Pete during the debates on Friday.
Well, that's nice.
But I think it'll either shift back to him, or I think there's got to be at least one more person in the rotation before Super Tuesday, and then it'll shift over to Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloomberg.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Bloomberg.
Well, that's going to be the mainstream.
Can we just? So, will Bloomberg be in the next debate? Did he buy
Yeah.
that seat?
That's the one he bought.
So that'll be interesting because the other ability is, so he'll be fighting against it. It'll be interesting if he's still in, or if he's in and Steyer is also in,
Yeah.
because those are two billionaires, but one's definitely like pro Bernie.
Yeah.
And the other's going to be anti-Bernie.
He loves Bernie so much. It was
Steyer just
adorable.
wants a job in the admin. I
He
think that's all he
does.
wants.
He does.
He really-
and Yang on both sides of the debate stage the other night were priceless, and they came out with some good shit. It's like, oh, I'm so glad that they are saying that. Bernie didn't have to go there, and it's all supports Bernie's platform right down the line. It was beautiful.
Yes, and yes, cynical. I see your statistics. 74% of the of your county voted. With Trump.
She's in a very red county.
Oh yeah, where you are. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfriendly territory, to say the least.
Yeah.
Dang.
I feel. I went from rural Oregon, where I felt like I was surrounded by Trumpers, to here, where I feel like I'm surrounded by mostly Sanders supporters with a large contingent of centrists.
I think there's a lot of people who see that Sanders and Warren are about the same, so they would go with either. So
Still here,
that's the level of discernment going on there. But I don't know. We haven't talked to our neighbors much about that. We don't know. They might all be secret burners.
Right.
Too bad no one can see our
Cynical.
house. We could put a big sign.
Right. I know. Cynical, where are you? Because we could find you. You find your Bernie group, and then we could get them to help you, and you could help them, and you could do stuff. There's got to be a Bernie group around you. If not,
She's
let's
in
find
Panama
out.
City, right?
Yeah, I don't know where you are. I forget where you go. There's got to be a Bernie group in Panama City. There's got to be one if that's where you are. You'd be swimming with the fishes. It can't be that bad. There are other people in worse places, but that's all right. I'm just talking about in terms of Trumper versus Berniers. You got to have some Berniers. You're near a coast. There's got to be some burners over there. We'll help you. You can't be alone. We will find other burners with you. We will do this. The burner finder. Who was it that said they needed a Tinder for burners? Right? But not like it. We're not going to find you that. I'm just the whole concept
just
of
be called
connecting
burner.
burners.
Yeah.
Just call me called burner.
Yeah.
There you go. That's perfect. And that is perfect. Closest thing in Tally, 2 hours from here. Interesting. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyway, that was about it, right? Just want to let everybody know what's going on. Did I miss anything?
I think. What do you have in slides? Seems
I
like
don't
there's
know.
something else in there.
If you support us and donate, Super Chat should be live. Anybody capable, anybody that comes by later, the money that you send us will go to support Cork FM and what we're doing here with Uphill Media. Cork FM is an effort to use an FCC licensed radio station to reach rural areas of America, the West Coast primarily. It won't be limited to just the area it can broadcast in, because it will be streaming on the web and it will be syndicated across other rural stations. So if you could help us with this, Cork FM comes at a very inexpensive price for a radio station. Really, we need to come up with about $10,000. I keep changing numbers because really we can do it with 10, but that leaves us very slim. I'd rather have about 13, which leaves us a pad. I'd rather have 30,000, which is what I'm asking for in the GoFundMe. If you can GoFundMe /Cork FM, but we really can launch the whole station, fund it for quite some time, and do what we need to do to hopefully get finances set to carry it on, because it's not that expensive to run on an annual basis with about $10,000, which really isn't much when you consider what it is. The programming's all there, and the reach will be...
clarify that. The fact that we could flip the switch and be 100%, programming it right away. It's because there's programming. There's a vast library of programming, and there are other sister stations in the network that all have programming that we could use right away.
Right, exactly. It was already running, and then they had to take it down and go silent. So, and it's really just a computer, and programs are added to the computer. And yes, we can do live programming too, but it's really a turnkey radio station ready to go with an FCC license, which means we can pay for the rights to stream anything, and we can stream to the web. We can pay for the rights to broadcast anything. We pay pennies on the dollar compared to commercial radio. So 24/7 broadcasting Led Zeppelin, Prince, and all of the CNN we want, and ABC, doesn't really freaking matter, and we would pay less than $2,000 a year. That's what the fees are for a low-power FM, non-profit, non-commercial license like this. And that's what makes it rare, and that's what makes it valuable to independent media when you're trying to reach a disenfranchised area, because they were created for rural areas. I mean, this is what they were made for. Why do we want you to help us raise the money for them? Because if we don't get it, it'll most likely end up in the hands of a religious group. And
we can use it. We can use it. We can.
Yeah. So anyway,
the idea is bringing back FM radio, kind of taking it back to its roots. Back for those of us who discovered it in the early 70s, it was just an alternative to the noise, and another way to, in that case, get our music, which this will include music shows, etc. So
I mean, if you want to go look at the K-Jive in Madras, Oregon, and look at that station, and go to the tributes and listen to some of the tributes, it's good stuff.
Yeah, and I have a couple favorite radio stations from different places in the country that I have that I'll live stream through the web, and that's what we can be to you guys. So keep us in mind. Slide 15, uphill cam.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Slide 15. Coming soon, uphill cam. I forgot about this.
Yeah.
Here. Bam. there's your shot. So what are we talking about here? We are talking about, thank you, Phil and Judy Livengood, for a ton of birthday gift money, and for whatever group that gave us $100 for doing whatever we did the other day. Anyway, stacked me with a whole bunch of gift cards, and I'm just going to stop there because I don't want to get hated on for where I bought the stuff. Nothing I could do about that, but it funded a 4K La Honda/uphill media or uphill house weather cam.
We'll have a full screen.
We'll have a live cam. I mean, this is a shot from our yard right here. This is looking out off the porch.
Yeah, this is literally the view that I can see looking straight in front of me out the window, and is to John's right.
Right.
It's something that needs to be shared with the world. So
it's a rare view. The weather's dynamic up here because we get the fog that rolls in and out constantly from the coast, and it offers just some incredible weather views of some really active stuff.
And lots of wildlife. I don't know if you can see in the picture, but there are our resident herd of deer is in the lower right-hand corner, and we have vultures and hawks and all kinds of birds, and it's pretty cool. And foxes and other owls and other nocturnal things that we'll be able to see because we'll have an infrared, right?
Yeah, we'll have infrared too. Hang on a second. Cynical, did you just have a birthday on 2/7, debate night? Well, happy birthday. And Dennis's birthday was recently, today, yesterday. I don't know, everybody's had birthdays. So happy birthday.
And John is now 50. You guys all caught that, right? The big one that we've been talking about for the last few years finally arrived. Little did we know that it would be with us together.
Came with my new 50s-ish glasses.
I think those look good, actually.
They look better. They work better than the other ones.
Yeah, well, that's good.
They work better.
You hated those things.
So we have a weather station up here. All right. I can't.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to set up is a nice display. So we'll broadcast a camera view, a weather station, so you can see what's going on with the weather, and it has night vision. I'll try to run it as 24/7 if we can. And proceeds from that live cam will go to help fund Cork as well. So that's going to be pretty cool, and so you'll have that to look at. So there it is. So look forward to that. All the equipment has been ordered, and then I just need to put it together and get that going, and pick one of our dormant YouTube channels to stream to, or maybe I'll stream it to our website only.
I've got a YouTube channel that only has nature stuff on it.
Okay, well, we could use that.
I don't have any followers though, so
we could build up.
Maybe
we'll talk.
We'll figure it out.
We'll talk. All right, that was it. Thank you all for joining us. That was just an update on what's going on. Thank you all for your support, and let's continue to support Bernie Sanders and the progressive movement and move forward, hopefully to save our asses from Nazis and the climate crisis.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, so what do we have? So what do you have?
I was going to go out with a song.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, hang on. I don't have the song
it's in
set up here. Yeah, no, I got that part. I don't have it framed. It's not cropped. Here. This is who is this? Tony
This is
Tigg?
Tony Tigg. This is his Bernie Sanders 2020 theme song. We played Makana last time, which is my other very favorite, dedicated Bernie anthem. But this one is good, and I like this version.
All right.
It's sassy.
Well, here we go. Let's see. Monitor should be here. All right. Well, here we go.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Should be able to now the audio. We should be able to play this.
He'll never be president.
And that should be playing.
Absolutely
okay.
not.
You should be able to hear it all. We should shut up now.
In case you don't know, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. And no, I won't yield. The American people want to see our kids educated. Let's have the guts to give some leadership to this country.
Yeah. All I hear's a lot of rhetoric, a bunch of sellouts still trying to be the president, lining up their pockets with that Wall Street money. Now they trying to throw dirt until we all get muddy, but I'ma make them quack, make them squeal, rubber ducky. In 2016 you Bernie haters got lucky. Now it's almost 2020, it's about to get ugly. I'ma knock on every door and I don't care who gon' judge me now. Cause we've been fighting nepotism, all these leaders in position, all these prisons pay attention. They don't wanna feel the burn, they try to hush the competition. Name another politician that you know that's this consistent. This persistence for the people, education make a difference. Yeah, the fight for 15 and equality for women, comprehensive immigration and a real black agenda. Medicare for all, yeah, you start to get the message.
Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me. Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me.
Yeah. Don't you worry about the swag. Matter of fact, you can put it on my tab. We counting every vote, they think they got it in the bag. $27 and they still getting mad. So progressive and we never gon' let up. Burn the establishment, I'm screaming from the neck up. This is our time, this is our fight. These are my kids, this is my life. This ain't about the left, this ain't about the right. Nobody cares if your MAGA hat's on tight. Your little baby still yelling for the wall still, while the poor still trying to pay their light bill. 40 hours got them begging for a living wage. Vietnam vets still trying to see a better day. Instead of crying in the ocean full of misery, we gon' stand tall with the burn making history.
Senator Sanders stood up when he didn't have to stand up as a young man. The way to define the character of a person is what they do when the cameras are not on, what they do when they don't benefit from it personally. He is a champion for civil rights and social justice in this country. The time is right and the cause is now. Senator Sanders understands that we as a country, Black, white, Asian, Native American, young, seasoned, Muslim, Christian, Jew, Gentile, atheist, all of us together.
Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me. Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me.
I am going to run for president. That's correct.
What's going to be different this time?
We're going to win.